Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend our webinar on Saturday morning. We are happy to have you in this session and really hope that the takeaways you receive from this session will be beneficial to you in making your career decision. To introduce myself, I'm the MC. My name is Jian Rong. We are now at the top of the hour, so let us tarry no further and proceed straight to the housekeeping reminders. Moving on to the next slide. So with reference to the slide, we will be greatly appreciative if you could turn off your microphone during the session. This is to ensure that there's no any form of interruptions during the delivery by our speakers. Next up, we'll be taking the attendance 30 minutes after the webinar starts. So for those who would like to get a copy of the certificate, please do stay with us throughout the session. And we welcome any form of questions, be it general or specific, from the floor. So should you have any query or insights that you'd like to share, please feel free to key in your opinions or your questions into the Q&A box on Zoom. You can choose to make your name reviewed or keep it anonymously. So we would also like to invite you to stay back after the closing remark for a group photography session. Last but not least, the organizing committee would like to wish that you have a fun and fruitful sessions ahead. So today, we have with us two young and inspirational speakers. Our very first speaker, Mr. Muhammad Murtadha. On to the next slide. He is a community pharmacist currently working in Hospital Angkatan Tentera Tuanku Mizan to serve the veterans. He is a graduate of the International Islamic University of Malaysia, IIUM, with a bachelor's degree of pharmacy and has recently completed his training at Ampangan Health Clinic. He is also experienced as a pharmacist at Juase Health Clinic and was involved in medication therapeutic adherence program. He also has a variety of experience and skills in the visual and creativity faculty of various associations. Now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Muhammad Murtadha. Murtadha, the floor is yours.
Hello, Assalamualaikum, and a very good morning to everyone. So I'll be sharing my screen for now. Okay, I hope you guys can all see my screen now. So before we begin, I just introduce myself again. By the way, thank you, Jian Rong, for introducing me. So my name is Muhammad Murtadha. You guys can just simply call me Tada for short. First of all, I was intended to actually share my experience from the starting of my contract until the end of my contract, until I got the new job in pharmacy veteran currently. So first of all, this is about me. I work in as a PRP at KK Ampangan in Negeri Sembilan. And then I start my compulsory service at the same facility as well in January 2019. And then I got transferred to KK Juase to continue my compulsory service on April 2019 until I extend my contract service on January 2020, and then my contract ended January 2021. Sorry. So as you can see, as you guys are aware, I finished all the 3 years of my PRP and compulsory service plus extension in KKM. And then I was jobless for 3 months until I got my current work in pharmacy veteran in Hospital Angkatan Tentera Tuanku Mizan. So this is my new workplace, pharmacy veteran. Pharmacy veteran is a community pharmacy, but is situated inside the Hospital Angkatan Tentera Tuanku Mizan itself. So we are a NGO which serve the veterans. We are an NGO specific to dedicate our service as a pharmacist and also medications provider to all the veterans, especially the military veterans. So uniquely about my current workplace is that we are a community pharmacy, but then we operated similar to a clinic kesihatan or outpatient pharmacy in hospital, where we dispense NCD medications instead of OTC drugs or prescription medications. So NCD medications are such like metformin and so on. So we do not have any direct counter sale and purchase processes in our pharmacy. So we provide medications to the veterans, and then we recorded them on some documents, which we will send to Jabatan Veteran, a subdivision under MINDEF, Ministry of Defense. Which we will claim the price, all the prices of the medications that we supplied to the veterans. So our main source of income are mostly from claiming from Jabatan Veterans. So without further ado, I've introduce myself and also explain about what my current work is. So for me, wait, before this, okay. I want to jump. Actually, I want to explain more about my journey, but I reserve that until the end, and I jump first to this part of segment first, which is what can you prepare yourself with before you are applying for any job applications, or even if you are not actually looking for jobs currently, you can still prepare yourself with all of these aspects. So this is what I think you should prepare yourself with. You can choose each one of them or probably all of them all together, but then these are just the list of the things that I can think of. First of all is certifications, like for example TOTs. TOT means training of trainers, which is the training for PRP preceptors. And then smoking cessation program, master program, doctorate, MTech, and so on. And then you can also prepare yourself for soft skills such as leadership, time management, and stress management. Usually soft skills are developed through you joining and some leadership organizations, organizations and clubs or activities. So hard skills, like for example, SPSS, graphic design, sales marketing, digital marketing, IT, software development, and so on. And then the language. A language is some kind of like the things, is one of the most important things that I think you can prepare yourself with before you actually end your contract and then jump to another workplace. Because as you know, as I scroll through a lot of job applications after I ended my contract, I can see that a lot of job applications requires you to be fluent in Mandarin, especially, and also there's also requirement on Tamil as well. So I just think that among all those that are listed down here, actually language might be one of the things that are most important for you to actually, that you can immerse yourself with before looking for another job. So also you can also search for new networks, like while attending webinars, join organizations, or do volunteer works. Also gain new experience. As you know, we are currently having our a lot of vaccination programs currently. So you can gain experience from that as well, along with gaining networks as well from that. Or you can also do locum pharmacies first during the weekends to gain your experience on that particular sector. Okay. So these are all the mediums that I use to find job applications. First of all, Facebook. You can join a lot of Facebook groups containing job applications, like for example, locum pharmacists Facebook group, and there's a lot more. There's also job page specifically for finding jobs. And then community pharmacy Google form. I believe it is MPS-YPC who, or MPS, I don't remember, who created this form, which allow us contract workers or any other pharmacists to actually put our email address, our contact details inside those form, so that any community pharmacy which have vacancy and is interested in our profile would contact us directly. So I still think that this Google form is still available and still workable, because I still got some community pharmacy who are contacting me asking if I'm still unemployed. Yeah, Mau Kerja is one of the job hunting sites, and also the same with JobStreet, and then LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is actually the medium that I had my, is where I was introduced with my current workplace. So the LinkedIn is a great platform where you can show your capabilities as well, and your skills, since it's kind of like a working profile, a profile for your achievements and also your experience in that. And also this is one group, MYPA Telegram group, which is created by Isaac. Most of you might know him in my PSA previously. So he created this MYPA Telegram group, which in that group he shared a lot of job applications that is available currently. So I get a lot of new and different kind of job applications that I didn't get anywhere else inside that group. If you guys want, I need to ask for him for the link later on. If you want, you can just PM me or email it to me later on, or ask me for my contact details later. So, and also friends. So usually contract workers, contract pharmacists like us have a number of friends which are also looking for jobs and everything. So friends are usually good since they share together. In one group, they always share like what kind of jobs is opening up currently, and people can group up to apply for that job together. Okay. So when I had ended my contract, these are the things that I think happened to me, and what you need to be prepared for as you ended your contract. First, as you know, we are applying for jobs, and there should be a lot of rejections. I don't think there is anybody in here who had a second job, who had applied a job, but then they get it straight away. The first job they get is the first job they applied. That's actually really rare. But then, yeah, you need to face some rejection. You need to be prepared to face some rejection with that. It's okay. Rejection doesn't mean that it defines your qualities, though. Your qualities doesn't, they probably reject because your capabilities is not suits your the current job that you are applying for. So don't get your hopes down with any rejection. The next one is mental breakdown. Well, I had a lot of this actually during my jobless state. So the first is because of the pressure from family members and also my peers, where I sometimes feel insecure of myself, whether I'm really not capable of doing anything, something like that. But I'll share it to you guys later on during my journey part. So short on money, this is of course since after I ended my work, after I ended my contract, I was jobless and I didn't have any money. So there's a lot of things that I need to use money for, but then I was short on it, and sometimes I also need to actually bring out my savings just to pay a lot of things which I have in hand. So I already mentioned about this peer and family pressure, which brings about my mental breakdown a lot of times previously, and then choosing difficult choices. So I also will be explaining again about this in my next part. Okay, so this is where I would tell you guys about my journey from the beginning of my contract until the end of until now lah. So balance between money, time, and passion is a myth. I actually heard about this quote previously, but I don't know where did I actually read about this. But at first, when I was studying, I heard about this quote. I believe that it's not true because we can actually get a balance between money, time, and passion. But then when I actually entered the working world, I mean, like all of us do, when I started working, I think this can be considered as a myth as well. Not that it is a myth, but then it's really difficult to achieve somehow. So people, when I was in contract, even when I was in contract basis, people told me that there are no choice anymore and I should just take any jobs that are offered to me. At first I agree with that statement, but when I applied for a lot of jobs, I tend to disagree with that point, actually, because you need to choose whichever you like or whichever that you have your heart in, not just because of the crisis and everything, but you need to have how do you say, there are two things actually. When I choosing something, there are two things that I need to consider, which is my priorities, and also the second one is the consequences of my choice. So you need to outline your priorities before choosing any kind of job. For example, my priorities is time, and also mostly it's time lah. It's not money, it's not passion, it's time. And then why is it time? Because my passion is more towards graphic designing and also IT based kind of applications actually. So I need time to actually explore my passion. I don't really prefer to have that much money actually. Sufficient is enough, but I need most of my times to do graphic designing and so on. So when I look for jobs, I look for the jobs that allow me to have my weekends off. So Alhamdulillah, fortunately, I got this job currently, which allows me not to work during the weekends, and the working hour is always 8 to 5. So if there's even a shorter working hour in Ramadan, in the fasting month, where I need to work only 8 to 4. So it's a really preferred kind of workplace for me. So I was fortunate to find this current current workplace. So as someone who had a lot of job applications and so on, it is I would suggest you guys to actually outline, like write it on a piece of paper, your priorities and also the consequences of your choice. So I didn't explain about the consequences, right? So the consequences of me choosing the job which have a lot of time in it, I may have less money than compared to my other colleagues who had different jobs. And also, since my passion is also towards graphic design as well, I don't really put the consequences of my choice is that I wouldn't be able to venture on my passion as a pharmacy. So, which is okay for me. So, yeah, as I outlined just now, you need to choose your preferences, priorities, and also the consequence of your choice. So, oh yeah, I need to explain about my journey, right? What's the next slide again? Oh, this is supposed to be what I explained just now. Okay. Let me start my story about my journey. So I started my PRP on January 2018. I'm actually one of the bad contract worker actually. I'm one of the bad PRPs in my facility. So I can see I'm the worst for PRP in my facility at that time. I did it so bad that I was thinking of extending my PRP, but then my supervisor stopped me at that, and I barely able to finish my PRP in 1 year actually. So, but as the result of that, I got a low mark in my PRP. I think that is probably the main reason why I didn't got the permanent post currently. So I even didn't look at my PRP marks actually, because I was so scared of looking at it, thinking that it might be so bad that I would become depressed or something. But then I didn't get my hopes down. I continue with my contract compulsory, and then yeah, as I said, I didn't get my hopes down. I still believe that I can still get my permanent job. In KKM. And I actually ventured a lot in KKM during that time. I worked in JKN for their as a designer in KKM. I delivered workshops regarding design as well. I joined a lot of activities, hoping that one day probably they see my efforts and might just take me as a permanent worker. So I get these hopes up until the end of my second interview, which I received the result where I didn't get the permanent post. Yeah, at that time I was really depressed. Like I said just now, mental breakdown. I was really depressed, thinking that I was incapable of everything. Even I did my best during my compulsory service and all. I still couldn't I couldn't make my mistakes that I did during my PRP. So the 3 months of my jobless during my time as a jobless is really hard for me, until one day my current boss, the current CEO of Rasumi Medipharma, the owner of Pharmacy Veteran, approached me in LinkedIn after they saw that my animations, my video animations that I did for KKM, and he was interested in it. Because why? Because he, at that particular time, he wanted to have someone to make the videos for his presentation. So that is, and then actually that brightens me up a bit, because my efforts during my KKM compulsory service that didn't really just went away. I still, it's actually grant me this current job actually. So I'm really think that it's really fortunate for me because I ventured in the graphic designing and also animation during my compulsory service. The CEO approached me, and then I got the job, and then that's until now. Until now, it's been 4 months since I worked here, and I'm really happy with the working environment. So that's why, as a contract worker, we know we don't have that much choices ahead of us, but still we can be prepared ourselves with a lot of things. Like for example, even if for example, you choose to learn a language during your compulsory service, in 1 year you got to master Mandarin or Tamil or Japanese or Korea, and then you become jobless after your contract ended. Even though you don't have, even though you don't work as a pharmacist, you still can apply for a lot more other jobs, like for example, translator and so on, which you can do part-time while searching for new jobs. So with that, you will, like for example, you will reduce the consequences of your choice. You will actually minimize the risk of having not having money at all. Yeah, so that's why these are all just the things that I think of at one point, but there are a lot of other things that you can prepare yourself with, that you can learn before you actually ended your contract. So wait, I didn't track my time actually. I think I have spoken for a lot longer than I should have. So yeah, I think that's all from me. I believe after this should be the Q&A session. I pass this back to Jian Rong then.
Thank you, Tada, for your sharing. I think it's a very personal sharing that sort of sheds some light in some of the challenges and setbacks that you have experienced and how you overcome them. I believe quite a number of our participants we have with us here today will be able to resonate quite well with what you've just shared, seeing that we are all going through the same phase in life as well. So we have actually received quite a number of questions from the floor that is relevant to your sharing. So can I just share with you if you're ready to answer them now?
Oh, okay. So
Right.
I answer the first question first. May I know the reasons that pharmacists should acquire hard skills? So there are specific hard skills that required for you to learn as a pharmacist yourself. Like for example, doing SPSS, if you are leaning towards going towards research and research-based pharmacies. So that is a must lah. But there are a lot of other skills that might be that you think is beneficial for you during your work in your next working place. Like for example, the accounting skills, for example, or business skills. So those kind of skills is your future employer would really love to see those. So it actually increase your chance to get job applications and interviews. So that's why it's important to have such hard skills. If you meant specifically for graphic design, actually graphic designs are something I picked up during my university years actually, and I continued until today. Jian Rong knows that, and probably a lot of you also knows that. It's not that I ask you guys to also join as graphic designers, but then it's something that I pick up and I continued. And my current boss loves it. So I guess it's one of the things that probably is sought for by employers, I think, even though it's not much. Yeah, but I hope that answer your question. And the next one, hi Tara, thanks for sharing your journey with us. I would like to join the MYPA Telegram group. Could you also share about the MYPA Telegram group? I don't know how to share Telegram links actually. So I will ask Isaac for the link and then give it to you. You can send a message to my Facebook profile, Murtadha Mazwil. You can search for my name, and I'll send you the link there. Could you also share more about your experience at Pharmacy Veteran? So in Pharmacy Veteran, as I mentioned, it's like a KK actually, or outpatient pharmacy, where you key in your medications inside the PHIS in KTM. I mean, we don't use PHIS, but we use our own system, and then we print out the documents which needed to be which we need to send to Jabatan Veteran for claiming, and then we fill up the medications inside a basket and then send it to the dispenser, and the dispenser will counter check and dispense. So basically Jabatan Veteran only allow to claim for veterans only. So most of our patients are veterans and their spouse. So basically it's a outpatient pharmacy. It's not a community pharmacy. But then there's not much more to explain about Pharmacy Veteran except that. Yeah. Do you carry out humanitarian project together with Tentera? Actually, no, because we are not under MINDEF. Actually, we are our own NGO. We are just serving the Jabatan Veteran because they don't have their own pharmacies or their own. It's not. They are not. They don't have their own pharmacy to provide medications to the veterans, so they outsource it to us so that we cater the needs of the medications for the veterans. It's not a silly question at all. So we are not under MINDEF, so we don't really do projects with Tentera, but we do help them. Like we do help the hospital in some way, where we reduce their budget needs. I mean, each hospital have their own budget specified by the specified under the MINDEF. So we actually reduce the amount of budget that they use. Yeah, because we cater the veterans ones. Okay, hi Murtadha, do you learn the hard skills by your own, and where can we self-learn the hard skills? Okay, yes, I learned the graphic design by myself. There are a lot of, I have a lot of teachers as well. Some teachers are from my university, some teachers are from my PSA, and some teachers are from my PSF. So I have a lot of teachers. But then if you want to self-learn any hard skills or even any soft skills or language, this is one of the website that I use to search for new hard skills. Udemy.com. I'll give it in the chat later on. The name is spelled U-D-E-M-Y. Yeah, udemy.com. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you for sharing your story. May I know why you choose to do PRP in government in the first place? So actually, I was dumb at first in the I don't really think of going on a specific place. Because after after I graduate, I don't really prone to any specific sector, because as you know, my passion is towards graphic design and IT. I don't really prefer to have like, oh, I prefer to be in the community. I don't prefer to go to the government. So I just get whatever gets to me first. So at that time, I got placement for PRP in government first before any other jobs. So that's why I went to the government. But I didn't expect the government to have a contract basis at that. We do all expect that. Sorry. I didn't know that it would be this bad. I mean, during that time, the contract basis got 80% of those contract workers is absorbed, right? So, but then during my time, it's like 50, I guess, or 40. So I didn't expect me to be one of those who are cast out as the I mean, it didn't get accepted as a permanent worker. So I hope that answers your question. If not, you can ask me again later on. Hi, I'm one of the contract pharmacists in KKM. You mentioned that before applying job at community pharmacy is good if we have experience in a community pharmacy, for example, doing locum. But as contract pharmacists in KKM, we can do locum, right? Any suggestion for me to have experience prior to applying the job? If you, like I said, this is one of the choice. This is your first. You need to outline your priorities and your consequences, right? So if you are a contract basis in KKM, I know very well that you cannot apply for locum in any part of anywhere. So actually this I believe this is actually flexible. You can ask your PFK if they allow for you to do locum. Actually, you can ask them if it's allowed. If it's still not allowed, you can actually do volunteer works as well. I mean, this is just my opinion. Yeah, I didn't really like enforce it for you to do. But then, like I said, it's a series of choices, priorities, and also consequences. So you are looking to find more experience in community pharmacy. So your choice is to actually explore those fields. But then the consequences is that you don't have any money in it. Yeah, because the current situation doesn't allow you to do locum. So what can you do to gain experience in it? You can volunteer as an intern or something. You can have a deal with the community pharmacy, ask if they allow you to actually attach there for 1 or 2 days in the weekends, something like that. Yeah, and yeah, that's my suggestion. But I don't know if there's anyone here who did that. One of my friends did that. Previously in the university, he actually applied during his semester break. He applied to work in community pharmacy. It's not an attachment or under the university, but then he volunteered himself to work in hospital, in government hospital. He worked in the ward. He worked in the community pharmacy. He volunteered to do that without any payment. So it's his choice to find experience, but then the consequences, he didn't get any money for that. But he get a lot of networks, and then a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge as well. So I hope that answers the question. What are the challenges you went through during PRP? I can say that my PRP place is really, really nice. Actually, it's just me who are actually the one who is bad at managing my time, because there's not a lot of people know this, but I actually work as the regional media and publications officer in IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office during my PRP, and I don't say that it's a bad choice for me, but then it's hard for me to manage my time more because I need to manage my work in IPSF Pro. But then I also need to do my PRP logbook and so on. But I didn't regret my choice at all. I mean, I love working in IPSF Pro. They are my families now. I mean, not my families. I mean, they are kind of like my family now. We talk a lot until now. So, yeah, like I said, there are choices and there are consequences. Yeah.
So Tada, I think due to the interest of time, this the previous question, I think we hope that would be the last verbal question, verbal response that we provided. But no worries, I think you can still type in your answers through the question and answer function. So feel free to type in answers so that in case you like to respond to that, you can just key in there. But unfortunately, due to time constraint, we will have to move on to the next session. So I think once again, we'd like to thank Tada for your sharing. Thank you very much. We are very grateful to have you around today. So Tada, please do stay with us as we proceed to the next session. Then perhaps towards the end, we can have a group photography session. Thank you so much, Tada. So up next, we have our second speaker. Our second speaker is Mr. Will Tan. So he is currently a community pharmacist at the Health Lane Family Pharmacy Center in Berhad. So Will is a graduate of the International Medical University. He currently holds a bachelor's degree of pharmacy and has completed his training at Hospital Putrajaya. He has demonstrated working experiences in various pharmaceutical sectors and is skilled in professional pharmacy practice, sales and marketing, customer service, and event planning. He was also a speaker in Bernama TV, delivering educational sharing on counterfeit medicines, as well as COVID-19 diseases. So without further ado, let us welcome Will. Will, I'll pass the floor to you.
Okay. Wonderful sharing from Tada. I also look at the slide until I forget the time as well. So so I will be sharing my screen. Hope it's not so boring. Okay, my slide is very short and you guys can hear me, right? Everyone can hear me, right? Let me look at the chat.
Can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's begin. So my name is Will. So thank you for having me. Basically, same with you guys. Just ended my contract and started community pharmacy. Okay, so can I see a chat, right? Yeah, I can see a chat. So just just a short little poll with you guys survey. So if you are still working in government, right, and waiting to be fired, I mean waiting to be renew your contract, yeah, you can you comment one? I can just want to see so I can more target the question. Then if you are already ended your contract but you are still looking a job, you can comment two. Yeah. So yeah, in the meanwhile waiting, let me know lah if you have any question, whether you want, how do you want to proceed with your career prospect, and then what is the community pharmacy like how, what do you think about it? Like you're afraid of joining community pharmacy because of what you are afraid of. Okay, so let us see. Wow. Okay. A lot of one here. So everyone just working in government, still waiting to be renew your contract, not fire. Okay, so great. So everyone is in the government now. Okay, let us see the next slide. Okay, so for you guys know, I actually don't want to join community pharmacy at the very first place. Definitely why? Because of long working hour, dealing with all the customer, talking about the price every day. I worked in big before as a pharmacy assistant during my school time, literally 2 years lah. So every weekend or every holiday or every semester break, I will go there. So yeah, the customer loads and all those are very frustrated. really work from 8 to 9. Then 9, right? Then when the close counter until the end is like already 10 o'clock. Yeah, don't ask me why I want to do it. Just want to gain the experience, you know, for the future, for the better future. But end up is a coolie already working as a. Yeah, so for me, actually, community pharmacy at the very beginning, I thought about is a option for retirement. So that time I was having a closed mindset. Then, yeah, just out of the sudden, I just changed my mindset. Why not give it a try to community pharmacy? Yeah, so before I choose community pharmacy, so let's talk about the government. Okay, no criticism or anything, just my thought. Okay, just my comment. Okay, so same with you guys. Very happy, got the contract and the PRP learning. You know, sometimes, of course, sometimes you have to bear the shit even it's not your fault. Okay, then hoping that one day you get permanent, but the evaluation sangat subjective lah, sangat subjective. So that one is really depends on you dengan you punya boss macam mana communicate lah. But of course lah, the advantage in government, no matter where you are lah, as long as you're in government, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. You get to exposure different department. Then from a lot of the things is that if you go out into community or any private sector, all the exposure experience is very useful. And then yeah, so for your information, actually before few months before end my contract, okay, I actually aim to be a product specialist, so-called sales rep. So it's those people who cakap dengan doktor like nak beli ubat tu dah macam tu. No lah, actually it's a more professional way that we want to convert the medical knowledge, the medical value into a financial value lah. You see, sangat cantik kan I punya perkataan. Yeah, anyway, I aim to be a product specialist that time. So so actually I set my target lah dalam 2 months this one. I actually sent resume to, I think, got more than 50 company, 50 lah. Then I get to interview with like 10 company, like all those private company, Bayer, or some generic company, a lot lah. So, and also not to say a lot lah, but only like 10 only lah. Then after that also, you know, very sad lah when you interview with those company, then they're asking about pharmacy sekarang tak boleh ke kena buat sales rep pula. Then I'm like okay, so anyway I'm just getting a lot of experience from there. So I also interview with retail pharmacy as well. So basically the interview detail is yeah. So before I interview lah, just as requested by the event, want to share you some, you know, interview starter pack. So what do you need to prepare, since most of you guys are from still in government? So our dispatch onwards is all selected, you know, just selected to go in government without go through any official interview. For information, previously sepatutnya we have to interview with the government, then they only will select we go in. Then I heard my senior say the interview is like, if you speak Malay, they will speak with English with you. If you speak English, they will speak with Malay with you. Then they will try to make you confused lah. I mean with the government interview. So for those who really selected are really, you know, very pro lah. But before, so just a tips for you guys. Like if you interview with a private sector, no matter what kind of private or government, for me is these three things. three things. So first thing is ticket. Are your ticket ready or not? So the minimum you have to prepare your ticket, which means it's your resume, your CV. Okay, so how to write your resume or write your CV? Don't ask me here lah. Okay, very simple. Okay, go to online. They have 1,000 of template. Just copy down and write down all information. Okay, and then for those who hard skill, soft skill, yeah, good, very good. If you have all those skills, just write in. I believe the boss will like to see. Okay, and then the second thing, same with Dada talk about we need find our lubang lah. Okay, the lubang wise is all those network, LinkedIn, JobStreet, and then just now Dada got show a lot of example. I only use few only. Then very important human. I would say human is the best lubang. Okay, that if you use LinkedIn JobStreet, probably 20%, 30%. But if you use human interaction, most likely to half of the chance to get into the company. So why do I say that? Like for example, today you send your resume to company A already. Okay, then company A didn't reply you. They really didn't see your message, or they just ignore you. Probably they are just too busy filtering all those candidate. Then if you able to do it, do a follow-up call. Just call the company. I want to speak with the HR. Okay, then okay, straight away, like, okay, so do you find any issue? Yeah, I just want to check with you guys. Have you received my resume? Yeah, if you receive my resume, do you think is any things I can do for the coming interview? Yeah, you know, straight away, straight to the point. Check up that you are very keen for the interview lah. Yeah, so follow-up call for me is very important. Okay, even though that time you as a didn't know that time I was a sales rep, follow-up call with a doctor also very important. Okay, because they will see your product, but you need to follow up with them, remind them that okay, you remember to use the product. So when you anchor the things on the doctor mind, the doctor will see the condition, they will straight away use your product. Yeah, so same goes with the interview. Today you sell yourself, right? You sell yourself, you as a product. Okay, how do you want to sell yourself is very I think this one is a bit subjective also. Value to money. So what does it mean? So just now Dada talked about a lot of the hard skill, right? So this one is the value. All the hard skill is a value. Soft skill is to demonstrate in front of the boss one. Okay, hard skill, right, is a value. So how do you convert the value to the money? So as Dada showed just now, the he got a graphic design. The boss sees his graphic design to the animation. So this one can convert to the boss money, right? Yeah, or something that the value to value also can. Okay, but for in term of community or you looking for other company, as long as they have a business going on, which means that the money involved. How do you really want to convert your value to money? That one is very important. Okay, so for example, if you today you join a company A, okay, then from there you already know, okay, how much you already help the company to earn. Then when you are there, you help to convert you use your value to convert to money. So express in a figure, like you tell the you can during the interview you can tell your boss. So I met I used to be a company when I was there, so I make how many figure. So it's occupied of the overall 100%. The out of the 100%, I occupied 20% sales. You see, got 20 people, but I alone already got 20% sales. So this one is when you go for, you know, in the future, very important. Today the boss are looking at you as an independent treasure, you know, which means that today you are helping me to settle the problem. Okay, so don't talk about give you the chance for you to learn. No, you just straight to the point, how much you can help our company. Then we can return as an exchange how much we can offer you to the growth. So this one is a realistic law. So yeah, don't talk about so deep first. And the interview starter pack too. Okay, so during the interview section, I go through like virtual meeting, official interview with the company, the hiring manager, and also like cafe meeting with the area manager. So basically, I just conclude 3 type of question for me. Okay. So not necessarily more around summer, but this 3 type of question I think is very helpful for you to go through interview, what you need to prepare. Okay. The first is yeah, just share with you, during one of the interview, I have 3 people during in the Zoom meeting. First is the hiring manager. Okay, so first is the hiring manager, which is the sales manager. The second is the HR manager, and then the third is the MSL. MSL is the MSL is what? Okay, MSL is the one who talk with the doctor with all the medical research. So basically, there's 3 people there. They will ask me 3 different related questions, which is here, which is shown in the slide. So the HR, he asked about the HR related question. So all the personality and direction, very important. Today, when the HR asks you to introduce yourself, you don't talk about your hobby, don't talk about what you love. Straight away talk to what you are doing in the past in your company, and now what you are plan to do something, and they will ask you about your 5 years goal and etc. Okay, if you tell them your 5 years goal are going to leave the company, you know, for better, sure you feel already. The 5 years goal is actually see whether you want to stay in our company, because training of people is very time consumed, and also research consume a lot of resource and a lot of things. So they really want to train you, then they will want to like stay, like hope you stay in our company. And then the technical question wise, okay, the MSL, they asked me about the knowledge level. So they asked me to do a presentation, and also like what is the anticoagulant, the NOAD, compared to the NOAD in this heart thromboembolism condition. Then if with a special population, I need to do a study, compare 3 different NOADs, then what are the difference, and then okay, throughout that he give a lot of comment also. And then the position related question, the sales rep asks you about what do you know about sales rep. So the sales rep basically your role in your company. Okay, so yeah, as you guys know, before I joined as I interview a lot of the sales rep things. So yeah, so out of the sudden I'm just changed my mindset, and then why not I give community pharmacy a try again instead of sales. Of course you ask why. Yeah, maybe because of that time, money, MCO, a lot of things lah. So but for maybe for me is like more towards in these 10 years after that, do I really need the sales rep skill set or the community pharmacy skill set? So depends on the 10 years after that, what do you really want to do lah. So I joined community pharmacy because I really need the skill set, and then yeah, so I just go ahead. So I just one thing I want to share, like for everyone here, that time I'm struggling about join sales rep ke or join community pharmacy. So I very confused lah. So that time, but after that I changed my mindset lah. Whether joining which one to go, joining sales rep or community pharmacy, at the end of the day, 5 years, 10 years, you will not stay in the same place forever one. You're not going to, like, let's say today you join community pharmacy, 10 years after that, are you still community pharmacy? Not sure. A lot of things is uncertain. So just go ahead, just see, if you see there is an opportunity to grow, just go. Okay, not necessarily have to see the salary lah, but of course the salary have to cukup makan lah. If let's say you join a company that offer you 2K, cannot lah. Okay, even lower than your government's pay, of course really cannot lah. Okay, but of course depends lah. If the I have my friends that he willing to join a company, he offer a lot of opportunity to grow. So in that 2 years, he earn compared to a lot of people much more little. 2K, 3K, 2K, 3K, really just enough to survive. But immediately from that experience he gained from that company, he learned all the opportunity to grow. He learned all the opportunity to grow is like straight away. Now he got like at least 10K or 15K, I guess the salary he told me. Not sure bluff or not, but yeah, he really very have a lot of skill set people. So by the way, he from different field lah. So talk to different people, know what is the experience like. Yeah, that one is very important. You cannot just limit to a community pharmacy that your mindset is there only. You have to talk to a lot of people from different backgrounds so that you know, oh, how does it like. So how does it like with other private sector. So I thought about why do I leave, why do I join community pharmacy, and what do we need to prepare. Yeah, so how is the job like? I believe here semua orang ada pernah jadi locum before kan, like locum, weekend you go to there do a pharmacy. Okay, I just now saw some question like I think it's a fresh grad. So fresh grad, for information, locum is you can join during your working time lah. So weekend you go there work as a locum pharmacy. Okay, so everyone look at us so nice. As you see the left picture, okay, we macam yes, but in fact, okay, what we actually do is very pao ka liao. So for your information, if you don't know what is pao ka liao, it's a Hokkien dialect. So basically you are doing everything, covering all the role. Okay, so why do I say covering all the role? I'm not sure other like other pharmacy I go there big before. Okay, let's talk about my setting. Okay, so basically what we need to do that time, early morning we need to do a morning briefing with all the stuff. So you are really like a branch manager lah. Considering you are a branch manager there actually. So because now at the moment we call it a swapper. So which means that there is a branch manager at the outlet where the branch manager not there, I will be covering his or her role. So basically every morning you need to do a morning briefing, update on all the product, any shop expiry, any SOP doing like EMCO, MCO, what do you need to do? Okay, then price changes, okay, price tag, very important, merchandising, okay, and then target, is there any target KPI? So from there, the target KPI, like what do you need to do? You have to assign your staff, okay, how many you need to carry the sales today. So if you are a community pharmacy, very important, okay, today you are helping your patient, but you also need to balance with your sales. So this one you need to find a balance there. So a lot of my friends, they all don't like is because community pharmacy just talk about sales, money. So for me, it's a different perspective. Is that how do you balance the money and also how do you balance the financial and also the medical knowledge? Okay, that one is very important. Then outlet performance. So what is your plan? Sometimes your area manager might out of the sudden call you, hey Will, so I saw yesterday sales a bit drop. So anything to do with that? Any plan to even achieve higher? So this one, is is stressful, because in government, if we not achieve KPI, next time je lah. Counseling tak cukup. Next day I buat harder sikit lah. Your boss will not ask you until the end of the KPI reevaluation. So of course, government have the stress as well lah. Especially you have to dealing a lot of people in outpatient care at the time, or the hospital, the walk around with the doctor, and also some on call, very stressed. So yeah, but here is a different kind of stress. So you literally have to bao ka liao. So other than that, you have to do all those product arrangement, short of, if let's say they have a short or extra of the item, then you need to be aware of. Okay, so last but not least lah. Okay, leaving government is not the end of the day lah. Okay, then selecting the first job also is not the last destination. So just choose the pathway that suit you the most, and compared to 10 years, that you just need to find a job that has offer you the most opportunity for you to climb, for you to grow. Yeah, I think that's all for my presentation.
Thanks for the sharing, Bill. I think it's shared in a very humorous manner, so we actually find it quite enjoyable. So we do have quite a number of questions here, but I'll read it out for you so that maybe you can answer accordingly in that case. So I think the very first question we received is, may I know whether the minimum working hour in CP still stands at 40 hours per week?
Where is it? Okay. Minimum working is 40 hours per week. Yeah. Supposedly it's 40 hours per week lah. But a lot of time you will see 44, 48. I even met a pharmacy. He told me that his working hour is like 48, and even like almost hit 50 already. So I'm like, oh my god, this one is too much already. But not to speak I mean, I'm not going to tell which pharmacy is that, but very very question. So 40 is a minimum, but a lot of time like 44 is the 44. I think is acceptable range in a community pharmacy.
Standard at 44 all right. So I think another participant would like to know like what kind of topic or knowledge that they require to prepare for IV community pharmacy.
Can you please, what topic? IV?
Community pharmacy.
I know what is IV.
Maybe our participant can specify it so they can answer better, understand better what's your question. Meanwhile, maybe you can proceed to the next question. So I think it's from Renly Lim. He would like to know, do you encourage the younger generation, especially those who just finished SPM or IGCSE, to continue study pharmacy?
Oh, okay. Yeah, just finished SPM. I think, why not? If you are interested, just go ahead. Okay. Just go ahead. Don't think too much.
But from your understanding on the job prospect wise, would you sort of encourage them?
From the job prospect, I think a lot of our pharmacy is different from doctor, that we have a lot of different lubang. So if let's say you are not interested in community pharmacy, then you are, government also can. If not government, private, you can join sales rep. So even if we talk about the private pharma company, there's a lot of the role we can be, store manager, MSL, sales rep, regulatory, MA. Yeah, a lot of thousands of the pathway we can go. So nothing to afraid that about in the future you have no job or something. It's just a matter of time.
So I think if we do compare the working structure and also the career structure, I would say career structure and organization chart of the hospital setting, KKM setting, and community setting, we do realize that's actually quite a big difference, right? Like for a hospital or KKM, basically you progress by grade from UF 41 to UF 44. So what about the community setting? How is it like the progression wise?
Yeah, the government setting, a bit sad to say. This one is my perspective lah. Okay, so whether you do a lot or you do lesser or you contribute a lot, you will still every 2 years, every 3 tahun, every 2 tahun, you will naik your pangkat. Okay, until until there lah. So that time I tell myself lah, wow, in 10 years, 5 years after that, even 15 years, if I still stay the same, I just cannot. I will definitely not happy about that. Because we are just waiting to climb the ladder. Yeah, nothing lah. So in community pharmacy, depends on how big is your pharmacy. If let's say we are talking about chain pharmacy, of course I'll start with the pharmacist, then you will be the branch manager. Okay, then after branch manager will be the area manager. Then basically these three. Then after that, if your pharmacy big enough, who know in the future, you need to be a stage manager. Yeah, the big pharmacy, one of my friends now is considered a stage manager. I would say it's a stage manager. He need to covering the whole stage there, but he need to take care of the few area manager there. So it's considered a stage manager.
I think as you progress in the career ladder, particularly in the community setting, the coverage of your responsibility will increase as well. So here's a follow-up question from Aruna. So he would like to know, like, he thought that the community pharmacy have pharmacy manager. Aren't they supposed to cover the staff management and all? And pharmacists are supposed to cover more onto the medicines and sales. So she would like to know, or he or she would like to know, why is it that sometimes pharmacists themselves also have to the staff management, even though we already have a pharmacy manager?
Okay.
Yeah.
This one I also heard before. Depends on the pharmacy setting. Sometimes the pharmacy setting they will have a pharmacy. They have a store manager there. So which means that pharmacy itself in the pharmacy setting they have 2 managers. One is you, the pharmacy manager. Another one is the store manager. The store manager will jaga outside all the OTC things where you need to jaga the inside. But in our setting, we are different. So your pharmacy as a branch manager, you need to covering everything. So there, in their breakdown, you have a supervisor in your pharmacy as well. So the supervisor, it might be a nutritionist, or it might be a dietitian, or it might be someone, it might be anyone. So you will need to cooperate with her, cooperate with the supervisor.
I think so essentially we have different roles and functions in a community setting, just that for pharmacists we have to work very collaboratively with the other people.
Yes. But also depends so depends on the setting as well. If sometimes there's a pharmacy there, like you only jaga your poison only. So basically you don't need to care about outside thing. You don't need to do the cashiering, etc. So that one is a store manager they will do.
Very
depends.
setting. Okay.
So how many leave are located? This one I sort of like forget already. If I remember, I tell you lah. Then how much the standard days supposed to off? For me, I book 4 days and then I rest 3 days. So sometimes it's quite good lah, especially like you work 1 day, you rest 1 day, you work 1 day, you rest 1 day. So quite good for me lah. Yeah. But of course, there is also some sad time lah. Everyone have a weekend, but I'm doing work in the weekend. But yeah, anything.
So, okay. In that case, I think the next question would be, how do you enhance knowledge and skills for logistic management? I think this question is coming from the perspective, let's say if I'm a contract pharmacist from KKM, if I were to switch to community setting, right, my skills may not be there yet. So what kind of skills do you think I need to prepare myself with in order to adapt quickly?
Okay. Logistic management wise, basically really by if you ask a normal community pharmacy, they will tell you by experience, you will know all the merchandising, pricing. But I myself, I just, you know, same with Tada, I doing some online courses now, at attending the diploma in retail management. Yeah, that one is actually you can learn a lot, like how you do the merchandising, like why the merchandising so important. Is there any pop-up cards, like point of sales? How do you manage there from the point of sales, from the customer enter, like the psychology of sales? How do you want to throw out there, like give them a, you need to, very important that today customer come in, you need to satisfy the shopping experience. That one is very important.
Okay. I think we do have a couple more questions, but I think due to time constraint, we need your support and help to respond them by typing out answers.
Sure.
Would that be okay for you?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I think it's a very insightful and helpful one, especially for those who are trying to understand how it's like from transferring from a hospital to community setting. All right. So again, very grateful to have you around, and please do stay with us as we proceed to the next session. So next up, we have the introduction of Career Toolkit, and our speaker is Mr. Solomon, but unfortunately, Mr. Solomon is not with us here today. In his place, we have Ms. Renly Lim, who is also the President or Chairperson of the FIP-YPG, to present to us on the introduction. So Renly, can I invite you to share with us the introduction?
All right, thank you very much, Jian Rong. Can you do screen sharing if you don't mind?
Sure. Okay.
Thank you. So hello everyone. I'm Renly, as Jian Rong said. I'm the president of FIP-YPG, which is the International Pharmaceutical Federation Young Pharmacist Group. It is an international body representing over 1 million young pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why Solomon's not available, so I'm presenting on his behalf. And so I'm actually only seeing these slides for the first time, so apologies if this is a completely unprepared presentation. I'm not seeing your slides yet.
Give me a moment, yeah, Renly.
Thank
I
you.
think these slides ready. I'm so sorry.
We're presenting off the cup. I'm so sorry. Solomon should have been here. I apologize for any confusion and inconvenience. I'll just speak. So I'm also a Malaysian. I completely empathize with the situation that's happening in Malaysia right now with the pharmacists and the contract pharmacists. I was a hospital pharmacist in Hospital Ipoh from 2010 to 2012. And then I went on to did my PhD. So my contract didn't end. I did resign. So I do feel sorry for people who have to don't get their contract extended.
Just a second, Renly. I'm so sorry for the delay.
No, that's all right. I don't know if I can screen share. I don't have to. I'm joining on my iPad very last minute, so I don't think I have the capability to screen share from here.
Okay, just managed to download the slide. Let me just share it very quickly. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Share my screen now.
Is this presentation for 10 minutes? We still have 7 minutes. Maybe I'll run through the slides fairly quickly because
Can you see the slide now?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much. So on behalf of FIP and YPG, we would like to present the Career Development Toolkit, which we launched late last year. It was a collaboration with many different sections and special interest groups within FIP, and it was following our member needs assessment, where we identified that global pharmacists really need a toolkit to help advance their career. And I think that really fits with the theme of today of, contract ends, future starts. So how can you develop your career? And so we've developed this toolkit that is freely available. So not only to FIP members, but freely available to all pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists around the world. Next slide, please. Right, so I've already introduced FIP, so I'm representing FIP today. So this is how the report looks like. It talks about different things like mentorship, goal setting, professional development, leadership planning, and so on. Next slide. So as I mentioned earlier, the toolkit was developed by a group of us who are young pharmacists back in 2020. The aim of the toolkit was is to be a guide for early career pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists to help them develop their career and promote their expertise in various practice areas. And as pharmacists, I think we are very versatile. We don't have to limit ourselves to just the common conventional practice settings like community, hospital, or research. We can venture into so many other things, even like machine learning, AI. I've got friends working in those areas, just because we as pharmacists, we have the knowledge and background in medicine and medicine safety and pharmacovigilance and everything else healthcare related. So this toolkit can help you advance your career in many different practice areas that's not limited to the usual practice settings. I would also like to introduce the FIP development goals. So we in FIP, we have 21 development goals, and so this toolkit aligns with many different goals. So goals 2, early career training strategy, 4, 5, competency development, 6, leadership, working with others, continuing professional development strategies. And I got asked recently, I think by Cedric, and saying that, oh, do we have to align our work with the FIP development goals? And my answer was, it's quite hard not to be able to align our goals with the development goals, just because everything is within this pharmaceutical spectrum. Everything is for our members, and everything that's in these goals are applicable to not just older pharmacists, but for us as well, like early career training strategy. And next slide. And so what's inside the toolkit? It is quite lengthy. I think it's about over 100 pages, but it's summarized really nicely into different chapters, which provide guides for a personalized career development plan. I think in the next few slides, there are some slides on how it looks like inside. I'm not sure. We'll have a look. And then users, you get the opportunity to reflect on your own development. There are different methods and strategies inside the toolkit that can help you identify your own development needs and recognize the different skills that you need. I think the earlier speaker did also talk about like hard skills and soft skills. And these are, I think, it's no longer like 30 years ago. If you're a pharmacist, you only need to know how to dispense medicines and know areas about medicine safety and the doses and all that. But like that's not really how you can survive anymore now. You need all these different hard and soft skills, like even statistical softwares or machine learning stuff. Like you don't have to be as advanced as that, but you definitely need to continue progressing. And then case studies. There are also different case studies from a lot of our FIP-YPG members in different areas. Now I recall Dr. Mai Chun-Wai, who is, I think, the previous YPC chairperson. He did contribute a case study as well in the toolkit. So definitely worth reading. Next slide. I'm just looking at comments. Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that toolkit link. So this is an overview of the toolkit. It talks about reflect the whole career development cycle, from reflection, where you are now. So basically understanding where you are now, what is it that you need to learn, what you're good at, what are your strengths and weaknesses, and then planning. How do you develop a roadmap to success, including where when and how. And I think in terms of planning, I would really encourage people to be part of an international organization like FIP. Of course, it's important to be part of a national organization like MPS, but by being part of an international organization, you get so much, you get basically a free access. Well, you do have to be part of the membership, which is not that expensive. I think it's about 50 euros a year maybe, but you get immediate access to an international network of experts in pharmacy and pharmaceutical scientists. And then the next step is on action. So once you've planned what is it that you need to do, and the whole toolkit talks about like different ways where you could document your whole planning and action cycle. And then the next one would be evaluation. Of course, this cycle just goes on and on and on. And I don't think it necessarily only applies to young pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists. It has to be throughout your whole career life cycle until you retire. And of course, at the bottom, just tip of the iceberg, a lot of things that are shared in this toolkit. It talks about how to improve your communication skills, negotiation, analytical, interpersonal, conflict resolution, leadership skills. So many different skills that you will need to advance your career. And it also talks about like the importance of mentorship, training and certification, and networking for success. From my personal experience, a lot of times it is who you know and what you know that will help you advance your career, not necessarily just the knowledge that you have within pharmacy. Because a lot of, as pharmacists, you are expected to know about medicines and dosage and all that, but what sets you apart that can help you have a successful career. And while I'm seeing these lines, strategies for successful career changes, I'll make a promotional message here that we have our strategies for successful career change event, digital event. I believe it's open to public. It's on the 30th of August, if I remember correctly. And then if you like to attend that, you can go to FIP website, digital events website, for more information. Next slide, please. So just again highlighting the different framework that's in this toolkit, how to develop different skills and expertise. This is quite a complicated slide. I am also just seeing this, but just have a look in the toolkit. And if anyone's interested, I think this is particularly relevant in a lot of people who attended this webinar today, because you probably is at the verge of maybe contract ending, you're looking for a new job, and so how is it that you can make a successful career change? All the steps are outlined in this toolkit. Next slide. Navigating the toolkit. So it is not only, so it talks about different roles that you can have in pharmacy, so community, hospital, industry, academia, regulatory, and so on. And I'm not sure if I should have looked at the slides before. We have listed over 100 different jobs that pharmacists can potentially venture into, and it's also listed, all of the 100 jobs are listed in the career development toolkit. I think in the appendix, we may or may not have shown it in the slides, but have a look at the toolkit. Yeah, so some of the career paths are highlighted in the toolkit. Next slide. I've already mentioned this, so it talks about the career development cycle from reflection to planning to action and evaluation. We talk about this a lot in the toolkit, and the importance of these 4 stages in the whole cycle. Next slide. Yeah, so where to download? I feel like this is probably the last slide. So where do you download? I think someone has already shared it in the chat box. It is freely available. It is quite long, but I think there is also an accompanying workbook that can help you effectively use this toolkit. And if I remember correctly, inside the toolkit, there are also different links to, for example, your personality test. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but there are just many, so many. It's like an all-in-one this group of people have helped you combine everything that you need to progress your career into one toolkit. So please have a look. Oh yeah, it does say that there's worksheets in there that can help you navigate this tool effectively. I think that is the last slide. Can you press next?
Yeah, this is the very last.
Yep, that is the last slide. Okay. If anyone has any comments or questions or ideas or how would like to be part of FIP, feel free to get in touch with me at ypg@fip.org, or you can connect with me or us on our social media. It should be fairly easy to find. International Pharmaceutical Federation Young Pharmacists Group. Yep, it's there. So that's what we are called. Oh, yeah, great. Thank you. So that email, feel free to get in touch if you would like to be part of an international network. You don't know where to start, feel free to get in touch with me. There's no question that is too silly. Any question at all, feel free to get in touch with us. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or that's our email address. So thank you very much for your time. I hope this wasn't too bad of a presentation. So thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Back to you, General. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your sharing, Renly. So once again, for those who have any query or if you'd like to know more information about FIP, you can reach out to Renly via the email given. And also just a reminder from Renly, I think she has mentioned about the digital event on the career toolkit or development. So you can just look out for the information on their Facebook page as well. So with that, I think we have already concluded most of our sharing today. We would like to thank all the speakers, all the presenters, from Dada to Will and also Renly for your sharing today. So before we close or end our program officially, let us welcome the chairperson of the MPS-YPC, Cedric, to give us a closing remark. Cedric, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Rong, and of course, thanks, Renly, for introducing the Career Toolkit. I'm picking up a question from anonymous attendee, which asks, how much is the membership for FIP in order to access the Career Toolkit? So you don't have to be a member of FIP to access the toolkit. We've already sent a link. Perhaps, General, if you could just help us resend that again if our participant didn't manage to see it. Yeah. So you don't have to pay anything to access the toolkit. It's free for everyone to use. And like Renly said, it's a very heavy document. So just find what is relevant for you. But there are a lot of principles that may be very useful for you. So just try to take an angle from it that will be beneficial for you. But otherwise, hi everyone. I'm Cedric. I'm the chairperson for MPS Young Pharmacists Chapter for this term. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for attending this session. Of course, to our speakers, the two from the last week, as well as two today, as well as our partners from the FIP-YPG, Renly being in presence today. Thanks very much for your support of this very first project on career transition, for contract pharmacists. Now, the goal of this session is, of course, to prepare contract pharmacists for a career transition that may be an eventuality. We all know that very clear now. And we try to do that by having ex-contract pharmacists share their career transitional experience when they decide to take the first step up. So of course, our wish is that throughout these two sessions that we already have, you would have picked up some relevant and actionable tips that can help you in shaping your career pathway when you decide to perhaps take call time on an MOH career. And at the YPC, what we want to do is that we want to just make that process easier for you when you decide to embark on it. With that said, the MOH contract issue is something that continues to play on, and it's something that we'll continue to champion. And I'm not sure most of you, whether you're aware, together with the MPS, the YPC, we were part of the Code Black movement that ran from July 1st to July 12th recently. And as recent as yesterday, there were some positive developments. So with that said, with the positive developments that happened yesterday, I'm sure that we all here, contract pharmacists here, will agree that it is still very far from what we've actually wanted or asked for. So for us, then the onus is on us, the MPS and the YPC, to take this issue forward and to continue to fight for it. Now, because this is quite an uphill battle, I'm sure you all know this because we're a stakeholder in this entire process, but the MPS, in many parts, we play our role from the outside. So it is an uphill battle. So what we ask for is that for all contract pharmacists here, and of course the graduates and students who are in attendance, for you guys to continue to support us in our efforts, and of course to cheer us on in this entire process, because it's not easy, and we really need the support rather than people slating us and say that, you know, the MPS has been playing with this, you know, for so long, but there's no results, you know, to be shown. You know. But we just want you guys to take a different perspective to say that let's support the MPS, let's give our own support, our personal support to them, so that then we can bring this issue forward, and to try to find something that's meaningful. Ultimately, with that said, what we envision for is that no matter what your career preference is, whether you'll be in the MOH, whether it will be in the private sector, we will be there. The MPS and YPC will be there to support you. That is the entire purpose of this career engagement session. Now, of course, I cannot end without recognizing our very dedicated organizing committee, who has, of course, helped us put up this program. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Run Shi, the chairperson, who was a contract pharmacist and now a community pharmacist. And of course, the rest of our team, you know, who has very different experience for facilitating everything since day one of this project. So thank you very much for your contribution, and really, we look to take this discourse forward. And before I end, I would just like to take this opportunity, of course, to remind everyone to please follow us on our social media, the MPS-YPC social media pages, if you haven't already done so. So we do have we do have plenty of updates, initiatives, and projects that we roll out from time to time. They are meant for nobody else, but actually young pharmacists like us. So please do keep in touch so that we can benefit ourselves together, and we can develop and grow for ourselves together. So that is all from me. Thank you very much once again, and until we meet again, please stay safe and take care.
Thank you, Cedric, for the closing remark. Thank you once again to everyone for your participation. So before we officially end this webinar, our organizing committee would just want to remind everyone on the following. Firstly, we'll be sharing the feedback form for all our participants after the session. So please do fill in the feedback form and send it back to us within this week, and you will only be entitled for a certificate after you have submitted the filled feedback form. So please also like and subscribe to our social media pages, which is shown in the chat, for more event updates. So we'll now have our group photography session. So to enable everyone to turn on your camera, our committee will be promoting everyone as a panelist. So you'll be receiving a message in Zoom asking you to rejoin the session. So please do wait for the notification. And for the rest of the participants, as you're waiting, please do bear with us. We'll try to make this as fast as possible. Thank you so much. So for now, we'll promote everyone as a panelist, and then do remember to turn on your camera.